Welcome to the Summerhill GCSE Media Studies podcast. In this episode, we will be looking at 5 key media theories that you will need to know for your exam. Let's start off with Propp's narrative theory. Vladimir Propp was a Russian theorist who studied the narrative structure of Russian folktales and identified similar features in them. He identified 31 key stages in narrative structures, and these included: a villain deceives a victim, a hero is dispatched on a quest, the hero is given a magical power or object, the villain is defeated, the hero marries the princess. He also identified 8 main character types that appear in narratives. There was the hero, which is the main character or protagonist who drives the narrative forward and determines the outcome. The villain, the antagonist, who acts in opposition to the hero and creates the disruption or conflict. The princess often marries the hero and so can be seen as a prize. Other characters included the father of the princess, the donor, who gives the hero an important item or object, the helper, who assists the hero in the quest, the dispatcher, who sends the hero on the quest, and the false hero, who claims to be a hero but is actually dishonest. A good place to look out for these character types is in the Bad Blood video. A second key theory worth knowing about is Todorov's narrative theory. Tzvetan Todorov was a Bulgarian theorist who studied classical fairy tales and folk stories, much like Propp. His theory of narrative states that the following stages will occur. The equilibrium. This is at the beginning when everything is calm and balanced and there is no conflict. This is followed by disruption or disequilibrium. An event or problem occurs to upset the balance. Following this is the recognition stage. The characters realise that there is a problem. Following this is resolution. The problem is solved. And finally, there is the new equilibrium. Everything returns to a state of balance, although there have often been changes in the characters as they have embarked on their journey. Look out for these stages when studying crime drama, Luther and the Sweeney. Next, let's think about Blumler and Katz'z uses and gratifications theory. You need to be able to apply the uses and gratifications theory to your study of media products. This is an active audience theory which argues that audiences select media products that fulfill particular needs or gratifications. The reason why one person chooses a product might be different from another person's. People's individual needs, as well as factors such as their social background, will influence how they engage with and respond to media products. There are 4 key uses that we can apply to media products. The first is information. Audiences find out about the world through the media. Newspapers are a clear source of information, and many other media products can also be informative, such as storylines in The Archers. The next is personal identity. Audiences feel that they can relate to a particular character or situation in a media product. Magazine articles that feature real-life stories and television dramas are examples of products that may provide a sense of personal identity. Look in particular at Pride magazine. Next is social interaction. Audiences can engage further with a media product by discussing it with other people. This could be in person or online, for example using social media, online forums or gaming, which allow audiences to interact directly with others. A good example of this is the Pokemon Go app. And finally, entertainment or diversion. Many media products provide a sense of escape from everyday life and give pleasure and entertainment. Our next theory is Stuart Hall's reception theory. Cultural theorist Stuart Hall developed the reception theory, which can be helpful when studying responses to media products. The theory suggests that audiences interpret or read a product in one of the following ways. Firstly is the preferred reading. This is when the audience interprets the text in the way the producer intended and accepts the messages that are encoded. This is more likely to happen when the audience falls into the target audience group. Next is the negotiated reading. This is where the audience accepts some of the messages presented, but disagrees with others. And finally, there is the oppositional reading. The audience rejects the intended meaning of the text. This is more likely if the audience is not the target audience, or possibly if they are from a different social background from that of the producers. The Bad Blood video, again, is a good example of how a media text might have both a preferred reading, but also an oppositional reading. And finally, we have Mulvey's male gaze theory. Laurel Mulvey presents the idea that women are represented as passive objects. The protagonist and the expected audience is male and looks at the female as an object of desire. Women are not active subjects and have no role in driving the narrative forward. The best example of this from the media texts that we've studied is the Uptown Funk video, particularly some of the shots towards the start of the video. So that rounds up our 5 key media theories. Thanks for listening to this Summerhill GCSE Media Studies podcast.